Welcome to episode 39 of 100 Songs. Today we're talking about the song Lady Shoes from the Jesus Lizard. Jesus Lizard is one of my favorites. They're a band I go back to a lot and I've listened to pretty consistently since I discovered them back in the mid 90s. Unfortunately, they don't have a vast catalog of material, but they have enough to kind of switch around and what have you. But I would like to have seen quite a bit more from them. But I'll take what I can get. So the Jesus Lizard was formed in 1987 in Austin, Texas. But they are really based in Illinois. And they were founded by Dwayne Dennison, David Yao, and David Sims. And their first album was in '89 under the Touch and Go album, the Touch and Go label. The album was Pure, and at the time they didn't have a drummer yet, so Pure was done with a drum machine. And you can tell it's still really cool to listen to, even though I'm a big fan of drum. Like drumming is really important to me in music typically. But Pure was done, like I said, on a drum machine, and then later they added Mac McNeely on the drums, and then from then on they had a live drummer. Mac McNeely did leave the band at some point, and then they got another drummer, but nonetheless, that's when they started. Basically, when I was a sophomore in high school-ish, which is kind of crazy to think about, just because it was so long ago. They did a split single with Nirvana back in the day. That's something I did not know. They were in the mix of all that great music that was kind of forming in the late '80s and then really hit in the early '90s. This whole bunch of great music. I've always say the early '90s is one of my favorite eras or times of music. And Jesus Lizard fits kind of right in there. They were coming out with most of their material in the early '90s. Let's see. They signed with Capitol to do the album Shot in 1996. And I want to say I discovered them in '95. Or maybe it was right around when Shot came out, actually. And then at that point, I had their back catalog to kind of get into. And then they did Blue in '98 and disbanded in '99. So I think in between those, they had some live material that came out. I'm not really sure the exact order that the albums came out. But after Blue, they didn't go too much longer after that. I want to say like within a year. And then they had disbanded, which is a bummer because, like I said, I was like super looking forward to seeing where the band was going to go. The sound did change quite a bit to me between Pure, their early stuff, and Blue. But I did like it all. Now, a little bit later, I do find myself appreciating the earlier stuff a bit more. I think Goat is like right there in the middle of their catalog. I still consider it their early material. I think Goat's my favorite. Lady Shoes, the song we're talking about today, is on the album Goat. That came out in 1991. It's just such a strong record. It's well produced. It's very boisterous, in your face. It's heavy. It's kind of wild in parts of it. I read a review from someone that I can't properly credit because I don't remember who said it, but it stuck with me. He said, "Goat is like a party in hell." What would be like listening to Goat, and that's pretty good. That's a pretty good summation of the album. It's pretty wild. The song "Lady Shoes" is is like a nightmare. It's a crazy song. If you listen to the lyrics or read the lyrics, um, it's it's pretty it's pretty hardcore. Um, Probably some of the craziest lyrics in the 100 songs list that I have here. But just in general, just it's just totally wild. Um, let's see. David Yao is for me a highlight of the band. I mean, the band itself is solid in terms of the music. Dwayne Dennison has a distinguishable, unique guitar style. He's been in other bands, and most notably, I think, is Tomahawk with Mike Patton. And David Sims was from the band Scratch Acid and has since gone off and done other work. I think he went back to Scratch Acid after Jesus Lizard. I don't remember, but David Sims had done some stuff. He's a bass player, and David Yao has since been in the band Key. I think I want to say QUI. Totally dig that album. He was injured while touring and punctured a lung. So that tour and his time with that band was really short. They sort of moved on. I think David Yo did a little bit of work with Scratch Acid too. Has had other things that he's done. He's done a lot of collaboration. David Yao has totally unique vocal style. Does a lot of just really not traditional singing at all. It's kind of some scream, like not even really screaming, just really harsh. His vocals almost sound like he's being strangled while he's singing or something. Kind of gargly sometimes. Sounds like the town drunk, like stumbling around and just shouting nonsense. I love it. I think it's brilliant. It's fun. It makes me smile, and I don't ever get tired of it. I just love his vocal style. His stage presence is unlike any I've seen either. They have a, a great stage presence because of David Yao. I should say David Yao has a stage presence. He's hilarious. He says really funny things, and it doesn't even seem like he's trying to be funny. It's pretty deadpan, but he's funny. He does seem like he's a wild man. Tons of stage diving, crowd surfing, falls down a lot. Just there's plenty of footage of the Jesus Lizard live out there that you can watch. But super, super entertaining live. And an interesting guy. I've heard interviews with him, and you see him on stage and you're like, what's this guy going to be like when he's not in the pocket doing a show? And he's just a regular dude. I actually got a chance to meet him at a show. I've seen him 4 times between 96 and 98. Twice in 96, twice in 98. The first was for the Shot, a supporting Shot album. And then 2 years later, I saw him twice in 98 supporting Blue. And then within a year of me seeing them the last time, they had disbanded. But I met I met him at. I have my ticket stubs. I love to look at these. I've done this in some other videos. These are the two shows I went to in '96, right here. Back-to-back shows. You can see September 14th, '96, September 15th, '96. One was in the Fillmore, the famous Fillmore in San Francisco, and then the other was at a place that used to have some really great shows in Fair Oaks, basically Sacramento area, the El Dorado Saloon. They had really good shows there. I saw Caius there. I don't know. I've seen a bunch of bands there. Anyway, when I saw him at the Fillmore, and then the next day when he was at El Dorado Saloon, I went really early, and I was by myself at that show. And he was sitting not at the bar, but in a bar area, and the place was like pretty much empty, or practically nobody there. And he was just sitting by himself at a table in the bar, and I just went over there and talked to him for, I don't know, 30 seconds, whatever, something like that. Really short. Just said, hey, saw your show last night at the Fillmore. I thought it was great. It was pretty wild. Can't wait for tonight or something like that. Something stupid that you say when you're starstruck and you see somebody like that. He was like, yeah, thanks. It was a lot of fun. I don't know, something like that. But we talked for 30 seconds, and then I quickly left him alone, because I feel like that's what you have to do when you meet somebody like that. He's just sitting there having a beer, and so some asshole walks up to him and is like, "Oh, big fan, long time," or whatever. I don't know. So I tried to keep it really short. The fact that I'd seen him the night before made it a little bit something to talk about. I don't know. But interestingly, part of his stage show, sometimes it gets a little bit naked. And in 1995, which was a year prior to these shows, he was arrested for exposing himself when the Jesus Lizard were part of Lollapalooza. And then what's funny is at the Fillmore show, he exposed himself again big time. He was, I don't know, in the middle of a song. For whatever reason, pants end up down around his ankles, and he just continues singing. He apparently had no underwear on, because it was just naked David Yao. Well, he's naked. He still had his shirt on. I think maybe he didn't even have a shirt on, but I remember being a little bit taken aback by that. I was like, okay, I've seen a naked man before, but I've never seen a naked man on stage before. And at some point, I think he wasn't naked very long, pulled his pants back up, and that was that. But pretty interesting. It's all part of the wildness of David Yao, I guess. 98, I saw him 2 more times at a place called Bojangles, which is, at the time, in the 90s, part of the week it was a gay bar, and then part of the week they had really great shows, and it was a small club, so it was a very, very intimate setting, and there were a lot of great bands that went through there, man, a lot. I went back and looked at concert archives of that place, and it was like remarkable how many bands had been there and performed in such a small environment. It's right across it's very, very close to California State University, Sacramento, which is where I went to college. So it's not very far from my house or wherever I've lived over the years. And this particular year that I saw him twice, I was living in Sacramento, actually. So this was actually really close. These are the 2 shows I went to. I feel like I just like showing this kind of shit right here. It was Bojangles. So once in January, and then again in July, same year. and man, just a lot of fun. Again, same kind of thing. That was actually the smallest venue I'd seen him. So the Fillmore was the biggest, and then kind of got smaller after that. But they weren't. I don't think they were getting smaller. I just think that I actually don't know what happened. I'm not sure why they broke up. I think they had or not gaining the kind of popularity they were wanting to gain or needing to gain to continue. And after Blue just sort of wrapped it up, didn't take off or go as far as they wanted. So they have done some reunion shows, two different occasions, two different periods of time since they quit playing music. I mean, these concerts were a long time ago. Wow, like 25, 26 years ago, 27 years ago. Yeah, that's crazy. But in the last 26, 27 years, they have come together and done some shows. The last set of shows they did wasn't that long ago. I don't remember. I should have wrote that down here. I don't have it written down. Whatever. Don't know if they will do any more reunion shows, but if they did, and they happen to come around here, anywhere around here, would definitely go. I saw some online footage of them performing in these reunion shows, and it's as good as ever. Like I would go in a heartbeat without hesitation. Let's listen to a little bit of Lady Shoes. This is towards the beginning. It's a very short song, but you'll get a sense of the kind of energy here and the vocal stylings of this part here. Lady Shoes off Goat. It's hard for me to stop that song. So I think you get the idea. That's pretty much the song. There's another 30 seconds left, and I think I started 30 seconds in, something like that. So I had the whole middle of the song there. Again, the whole record is really good, I think. Goat. I'd probably start there if you're like, I want to check out Jesus Lizard. I think it's a good place to start. Why not? It's good. It's right. Kind of captures a little bit of their older style, although more refined. Before their sound changes quite a bit. But I like it. I like everything. So let's now go to the wheel. Okay, so Fantomas, The Godfather, off director's cut, going to another kind of wild song. So pretty good back-to-back selections here. So we'll talk about that next time. Will be episode 40, and I'm wearing my Earthless shirt today. If I show that, Earthless. Wait, there it is. What's Earthless? We'll cover Earthless. I don't know when. Whenever the wheel checks or selects Earthless, we'll cover Earthless. This shirt, by the way, some super useless trivia. If you're a Spotify member and you're a Dinosaur Jr. fan, Jay Mascis is wearing this shirt in his photo for Spotify. I noticed that. I've had this shirt forever. Not forever. 2016, 2015, 2016. I don't know. And then I noticed that like in the last few months, the picture of Dinosaur Jr. Jay Mascis wearing this shirt. I bought this shirt at a show when I saw them live. Obviously Earthless, not Dinosaur Jr. They wouldn't be selling another man's shirt. Jesus. Okay. Take it easy.